If it's rude and abusive, you may have to be very firm, very loud. You may have to figuratively rip someone's head off to let them know that this is not okay, right? You can't be a doormat. He just can't help himself from interrupting you. So you have to figuratively rip his head off if he starts doing that and let him know, this is not okay. I am going to finish my point, right? So when people start abusing you, you got to, for their sake and for yours, stop. This is not okay. You don't get to abuse me this way. You invited me as a guest on your show. You asked me hot button controversial issues. I get to answer your questions before you interrupt me.
White parents than for white. So, look, the one point I'd make too is, what about the phone effect data? I mean, again, I'm sure you've heard all this stuff because I'm not. This isn't my tea.
So Kafka starts to explain the Flynn effect. And the guy who doesn't know anything by comparison to Nathan Kafka, like, interrupts him. It's infuriating.
The problem I have with vegetarians, essentially, the form of argument. They tend to assume, in my view, again, I am not the best person to argue this with you.
Right, he understands he's not the best person, so don't argue with him. Just ask very brief questions. But he keeps admitting, I'm not the best person, I really don't know anything compared to you, my guest, and yet he keeps interrupting his guest.
On the subject, so we're going to try to run away from it in like a few minutes. The one point I'd raise is...
yeah, so if you are a guest and the host wants to raise hot button topics and say that you're highly controversial, but then run away from the topic, no, you don't get to raise a topic with me as a guest and then run away. You don't get to put me in a bad light. You don't get to ride your white horse, and wave your bloody flag, but then interrupt me when I, the guest, have something to say, right? No, you don't get to raise hot button issues, controversial issues, put me in a very, awkward spot, and then run away to some other topics. Don't allow people to pull this crap with you, because people do it all the time.